Amber Heard, a name that has recently become synonymous with controversy and intense media scrutiny, has been a notable figure in Hollywood for years. However, despite the recent highly publicized trial she was involved in, it's important to remember that Amber is also a talented actress, a dedicated activist, a loving mother, and a woman who has shown resilience in the face of adversity. Today, we'll explore whether Amber has finally found peace after her well-known defamation trial. In 2018, an explosive op-ed written by Amber Heard was published by The Washington Post. In the piece, Amber detailed the heinous abuse she suffered at the hands of a former partner. While Amber did not name her abuser, it was too late. Amber was sued by ex-husband Johnny for defamation. The Amber Heard and Johnny Depp legal saga began back in 2018, but it was the 2020 trial in England that made headlines worldwide. Amber emerged victorious in this first battle, with the court ruling that Depp had assaulted her on multiple occasions during their relationship. This win was seen as a significant victory for the Me Too movement and a step forward in holding abusers accountable. However, this was only the beginning. The defamation trial in the United States, where Depp sued Heard for $50 million, was another abusive roller coaster altogether. This time, the outcome was not in Amber's favor, and the repercussions were not only intense, but the level of hatred Amber Heard received both in public and online was absolutely unprecedented. One could safely say that during the time of her defamation trial, Amber Heard became the most hated woman in the world. But why did Amber win one trial in the UK and lose another in the US? Well, when comparing the US and UK trials, one must note the key differences in legal proceedings and the implications for Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. The UK trial, which took place in 2020, was a libel case filed by Depp against The Sun newspaper for labeling him a wife-beater. The UK courts ultimately ruled in favor of the newspaper, asserting that the term was substantially true based on the evidence presented. In contrast, the US trial included a defamation lawsuit filed by Depp against Heard for an op-ed she wrote in The Washington Post. While it never explicitly mentioned Depp, it alluded to her experiences with domestic abuse. The burden of proof in the US trial falls on Depp, who had to demonstrate that Heard's claims were false and caused him harm. These distinctions between the two trials highlight the complexities of the legal systems and demonstrate how outcomes may vary significantly across jurisdictions. Furthermore, the inclusion of a jury in the US had a part to play in Amber's loss. While the UK case was presided over by a judge only, the US trial was not only televised, at the request of Depp and his team, but Amber's fate was in the hands of a jury that witnessed as Depp's lawyers employed what many lawyers know as the Darvo tactic: deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. This worked heavily in Johnny's favor, as the utilization of social media and this tactic led him to become the victor. In the wake of the defamation trial's ruling, both Amber Heard and Johnny Depp faced intense scrutiny and criticism. Depp's career, according to him and his team, took a significant hit, with him losing his role in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. That being said, Depp has already found himself back in favor of Hollywood and the fickle court of public opinion. Depp's most recent film has just debuted, where Depp received a 7-minute-long standing ovation. Whether or not his performance warrants that kind of reaction is another story entirely. Furthermore, he has recently inked a $20 million deal with Dior fragrances. So Johnny Depp is doing just fine. But what about Amber? Despite the fact Amber Heard, thanks to social media's unflinching desire to make people suffer, was made the most hated woman in the world, she has managed to face the uphill battle in winning back her life with both grace and dignity. Amber remains strong despite the lack of public favor as she continues to work in Hollywood, with roles in upcoming films like Aquaman and The Lost Kingdom. But has she found peace amidst the chaos? Following the trial, Amber has made an effort to focus on the positive aspects of her life, and especially her precious daughter, Una, who Heard is frequently photographed doting on. In the past, Amber has warmly embraced motherhood, frequently sharing adorable pictures of her little one on her social media accounts. Despite the trauma Amber has faced, The motherhood chapter in her life seems to have brought a sense of happiness and fulfillment, something that was largely missing during the tumultuous trial. Shortly after the trial ended, Amber sold her home, packed up, and left California and the U.S. for good. Amber moved her and her daughter to Spain, where they have been living happily since the trial ended. Little else is known about Amber's life in Spain, but as per Amber's last post to Instagram, she finally has been able to emancipate herself from something she attempted to leave over 6 years ago. This kind of debacle undoubtedly calls for a strong support system. So, who supported Amber along the way to finding her new life? Well, while many celebrities originally spoke against Amber, just as many have recanted their support for Depp, removing likes from his social media statements and in turn giving likes to pro-Amber tweets or to Amber's own social media statements. Celebrities like Julia Fox, Emily Ratajkowski, Evan Rachel Wood, Selma Blair, Kathy Griffin, Ellen Barking, and many, many others. Especially as time passes and the public has begun to reassess the verdict and the social media-born hate campaign under the lens of misogyny. In discussing Amber Heard's journey, it's crucial to approach the subject with empathy and understanding. Throughout the trial, Amber faced a barrage of criticism, as many domestic abuse survivors do, with many questioning her motives and credibility. What Amber was subjected to, while some believe was fair and just, has effectively set back women's ability to speak out against domestic abuse by many, many decades. It's important to remember that Amber is a human being, and the impact of such public scrutiny can be incredibly damaging. While some may argue that Amber's victory in the 2020 trial was a win for Me Too, it's essential to recognize that the defamation trial has significantly complicated the narrative surrounding Amber and her experiences. This complexity highlights the importance of engaging in nuanced conversations about abuse and the power dynamics in relationships, rather than resorting to oversimplified narratives, especially ones that lead to the virtual stoning of a woman who never even verbally named her abuser. So, what kind of peace is available to Amber Heard after the defamation trial? While it's impossible to know for sure, it seems that she is doing her best to move forward and focus on the positives in her life. Her dedication to her daughter, her activism, and her continued work in Hollywood all indicates that she is making strides toward finding a sense of peace and stability. That being said, we cannot forget that the journey to healing is rarely linear, and Amber will likely continue to face challenges in her personal and professional life. As she navigates these obstacles, it's crucial for onlookers to approach her story with empathy and compassion, recognizing the complexities of her experiences. Amber Heard's journey, following the defamation trial, highlights the importance of resilience and growth in the face of adversity. While the trial was undoubtedly a life-altering experience for her, she has shown strength and determination in moving forward and maintaining a sense of focus on the positive aspects of her life. Ultimately, Amber's journey serves as a reminder that healing and meaningful change are possible, even in the face of immense challenges. Remember, conversations like these are vital for fostering understanding and empathy in our world. So let's keep talking, keep growing, and keep pushing forward towards a brighter future for everyone. And as for Amber, we hope she continues to find moments of peace. That was everything on Amber Heard since the defamation trial.